For now, though, we do hop into another new match. Best of one, but possibly the last match between this whole series, as in this best of 9 between the two teams. Axiom has put Mousesports on their last life. Hashtag KPM. He asked for it before. Do it again. If you guys are in chats, drop those kappas. Raise the KPM. Ace Kates, kappas, whatever you want to interpret that K as. For now, though, spawning the top left corner of the map from Axiom Esports, the blue Zerg player, Impact.
In the upper right, as the red Zerg, he is Starbuck.
Mousesports is a really talented team with some really good players. We've seen some very interesting play stylings out of all of them today, and I'm just thinking back, like, there was no match today where I facepalmed. I went like, that was stupid. That was poorly handled. That was a bad cheese. Nothing like that.
Alicia.
Well, okay, Alicia is a different... I was talking about Mousesports guys specifically, but you're right. Alicia had an awkward first game, but I mean, down like this, 4-2. It's not easy to come back from this situation. And for Starbuck, the pressure's on because he's the only player that has to take on the rest of Axiom and anyone Axiom resurrects. And let's not forget, it was Impact who dethroned him in the first place. And Impact actually didn't even point this out, has gone for that earlier pool.
Alright, so, I mean, he is up a few games. He has not only his teammates to fall back on, but also technically himself, if he was to be resurrected, should it go to the ace-ace match for both players. Which, you know, it might. Last time, Axiom had a really strong lead, and in fact, they got to the ace. Innovation, you know, took him down. I don't know if Starbuck can be the innovation of today, but it's not over yet for either player.
Now, it's worth noting, guys, this is a 10 pool without that initial gas. This is that weirdly economic 10 pool that you can recover from, and it doesn't have to be the all-in for, but it depends on how much damage Impact gets done here. Now, of course, the goal is to cancel the hatchery if you can't do any drone damage, and chances are you're not going to really do any drone damage. His own lings will be out in a moment's time, and actually, does Starbuck not see this coming?
No, he did. He was an overlord. But he saw it like way in advance, I believe. So there's just something you can do. You can try and keep the hatch, but with lings popping out, like, you know, you're not gonna pull your drones. If it was hatch first, maybe you pull the drones, try and keep it. But he's gonna just try and keep it with the lings popping out. It's not gonna happen though. Came out just a little bit too late. Couldn't start the ring around the rosy. He's not gonna be able to do anything in front. Well, Starbuck doesn't know if it's not gas, so that's where you see a spine color.
Now look at the queen snipe here, which is actually kind of big. Oh!
Or not.
But lunges forward for it. That changes this around quite a bit. Worker count fairly even. Hatchery was canceled, and of course no queen now for Starbuck. This not so good as far as this opening goes, but at the same time for Impact, he's got his speed on the way. He's got his own queen out, but he's not looking to take a hatchery just yet.
Yeah. Just droning up a little bit more, getting his own lings to make sure the counterattack doesn't do anything at all. Sometimes like a droners who can go down to the 6 lings of your opponent. By getting speed, you know, as opposed to getting an immediate hatchery after. Well, I was going to talk about how he can, you know, expand safely, but he also gets a baneling nest, so... Kind
of an interesting move. I mean, he's been able to retain a decent amount of lings. Yeah, he stops the scout too, that's very important. Still has no idea about gas, actually.
The Overlord sees the hatchery, and if there's no hatchery down at this point, you gotta be like, I know what you're up to.
Yeah, but it's one of those things, like, is it too late? Because it's not like Starbuck started droning like crazy and he's been making like greedy mistakes, but the thing is his Baneling Nest is behind. He's not going to have metabolic boost, so it's, I mean, this is... I don't know, it gets a little bit rough when you think about this. Now, the main will be alright to start. The Spinecar and the Queen can start sniping off Banelings as they approach the ramp, but I kind of feel like it's that speed, that metabolic boost that's like way more dangerous than the Banelings.
Yeah, it is. I mean, Impact could go up right now with the speed and be assured that he could, you know, maneuver out. He could be safe to go ahead and poke at this hatchery and maybe even take it on a good chunk. I mean, Starbuck is forced to come down here without Banelings just to try and buy some time, so there's another hatch.
The other thing that's really critical of this is Impact can actually chase his opponent's Banelings, whereas Starbuck can't. Oh, but that detonation on the ramp could have been huge for either player, depending on how that went. One Baneling, unfortunately, stifled at the ramp. It was the saddest Baneling ever.
Spycrawler reached for that one.
Yeah.
All right, with all the banelings down and out, and Starbuck still with his own, Impact can't break the natural. Now he has his own hatchery on the way. He's up in drones as Starbuck, has been defending. He got the Spycrawler. He gets to produce 2 queens, of course, as well. But that, that could change really, really quickly. That's the whole reason that you want to be able to snipe the hatch. So now they have a lot of production, and larva actually build the drone.
I'm a little worried for Impact now, if we're going to be quite honest. His hatchery was so late, and that attack was meant to do some real damage. At the moment, the worker count, the army supply, it's fairly even. But the difference is Impact's hatchery is so late.
It might not matter. We've seen a couple of games where it's just they still have a drone lead, they're still droning while they're doing it, and the production isn't really coming into effect. I mean, the whole thing with Starbuck right now is that he really feels safe. He doesn't have to invest in the Medbog boosts, although he still might as he's getting gas right now, because he has good scouting. He knows that Impact tried to get a hatchery. He has his banelings, which are going to be, safety against anything but a really huge all-in from Impact.
Corpses go flying everywhere, left and right. Baneling's trying to trade out. I mean, the Zerglings at this point, they're not getting any scouting information. I think Impact's got to realize this. He keeps blindly sending them in. Best case scenario, start trading out 1 Zergling for 1 Baneling, I think, more so than trying to dive past the Spinecrawler and a Queen.
Yeah, I think that's what his goal was. But so both players just, I guess it boils down to both players feel relatively safe. Impact has the map control with the speed links, and Starbuck figures that he has a good defensive position up a natural. Both players are going to be going up 2 Roaches. Impact did throw down a Spinecrawler, so maybe not looking to go for a secondary all-in with Roach Baneling. Actually play the game out.
Banelings actually do have their place in the game still, though. I mean, the thing that's going to be nice is following this up, going to the mid game. If it is Roach versus Roach, keeping these Banelings alive can be rather important, as a little bit of splash damage can go a long way onto Roaches. But he'll see his opponent taking a gold base, and Starbuck, well, he'll probably get away for this for a little bit, but 8 Roaches have begun here for Impact.
Yeah. I think it was in reaction to seeing the drone go, although it might have been Impact's plan from the beginning to just get up to roughly 40 drones and attack hard a lot of Roaches.
I think both are going to be the instance here. A big part of this, of course, was I think he knew his hatchery was so much later. He didn't. It's so hard to gauge whether your drone count is going to be behind or not. You can't count your opponent's drones. Obviously, you don't have that little nice 11 out of 24 above your opponent's hatchery.
Technically you could, but he didn't even get into the domain, so...
Well, that's the thing. His scouting information has been denied. I mean, every time he sent a link by, it got picked off immediately. Roach count at the moment, though, 13-6. He'll be able to apply a little bit of pressure here. Oh, that's poor Banelings.
Roaches don't care.
Roaches don't give a fuck. I mean, they just... Out of my way! I'm coming through!
Doesn't want to lose these Roaches just, one for nothing, but just pull back. He's getting the hatchery, which is what he wants. It looks like he's going to continue with his attack. 16 more lings, a lair on the way. Ooh. Oh, there was a... Oh, wait. Oh,
yeah, Banelings managed to squeeze in here. They didn't kill much, though. It's worth noting. I don't know how Starbuck snuck those by, but only 2 workers died for it, so not really too crazy. These Banelings got an impact, though. So, we just made the joke about the Banelings and not really mattering, but with this many, not only is he going to bust through the front, he'll be able to apply a lot of splash damage. And quite frankly, I kind of hope he, rather than goes on the left, tears down the Evolution Chamber and the Roach Warren on the right.
Why did they go in with the Roaches first? He has to move a little bit just to get the Banelings to go through. They finally do. He's getting on top of the Roaches, on top of the Spinecrawler, but that Spinecrawler's not going down.
Oh my god, but the Roaches on the left just got obliterated. Drones are going to get pulled into this, but you got to be careful because there's Banelings still in play. The Queen falls, but Starbuck holds.
Yeah, I don't think that was enough. I think that was... I mean, when you go up a ramp like that and you see that, you can't exactly pull back because the Banelings become so useless after a while, but contain the... not having them for the counterattack if Starbuck were to do it, not just expand, was better than throwing them away.
I mean, he got a couple workers for it, but really, nothing close to being cost effective. What I almost would have loved to have seen alternatively, and I don't know, he busted the left side, and he used Banelings to do it. That wasn't the Roaches that sniped it off. I kind of feel like if he had sniped off that Roach Warren, be it through the Roaches or the Banelings, that would have really hindered Starbuck, because it would have prevented any sort of counterattack, any sort of follow-up, because there'd be no Roaches. Well, there'd be what's on the field currently, but that's it. But a bit of a pause. Starbuck getting a call from probably some hot model saying like, "Oh, I love the way you do weird tactics. Date me."
Yes, of course.
That's how girls work, right?
Yes, that is how we work.
Thought so. All right. Back at home for Impact, though. His defense is going to be a little bit shaky. He's got some Zerglings out, which, again, are going to help a little bit because this isn't exactly the god mode amount of roaches, but this is still so many more roaches in the favor of Impact. Or, sorry, in the favor of Starbuck. 20 versus 6. And the Zerglings, what's Impact doing? He's giving it away for free. He needs these to be cannon fodder for his current roaches.
Yeah, he needs to survive this. And, didn't he have a Spine Crawler? I suppose that went down with that one Baneling attack, or maybe he canceled it. I'm not sure. That it would have been useful here.
This is going to be a rough hold. Banelig's got some decent splash attack off.
It's fine, yeah.
It's that fear of the concave at the top of the ramp.
I don't think you would go down, though. Like,
right, that's where this gets scary. Now Bailey's going to come in, though, try to find the heart of the roaches. It's a pretty decent snipes up. Impact does a pretty good job of holding for the time being. Well, Starbucks has got a bigger number, guys. Remember, half of it's across the map at home, walking this way.
Yeah.
Walk this way.
Impact barely holding on. Again, not really...
He's getting really aggressive chasing these. It's going to cost him a couple of his own, but he will clean this up. The problem is, there's more for Starbuck.
Luckily, both speeds are going to finish, so Impact can get out, which he should.
Get the outs.
Maybe not. This is so close. They're just like, okay, coming in from behind, Impact will have the bigger roach count, and now he's going to do the counterattack. Starbuck got a third behind this, so 300 minerals gone.
Impact's down in upgrades, though. I don't...
Yeah, but Impact has to counterattack and kill the base again, or he's going to be too far behind.
That's right. Gold is going to give a big mineral boost. It's nice to be pressured into this scenario, but the thing is, I don't think he really can. And what's unfortunate about the way roaches factor into StarCraft 2, guys, is you can't exactly just disengage and, pull up Protoss. Wait till that 200 death ball. Not without a ton of spine crawlers or something. And even then, that's a way too costly investment. I just, if it wasn't for that +1, I'd say Impact was in a much better spot to continue through with this game, but he's going to have to force a really good engagement where he's going to concave at the top of this ramp at the gold. He'll have to come in from behind with a couple roaches too, but Starbuck may just say, screw that, let's go to your natural.
Yeah, I don't see Impact holding this right now with no additional help, no spine crawlers, just that one queen. Starbuck is taking his revenge for that loss in the ZVZ earlier.
Yeah, the roach count is actually going down fairly slow on both sides. It's hard to say who's quite ahead, but Impact's roach numbers are simply dwindling too fast, and he doesn't have a lot behind this, so looks like GG will be called, and Starbuck start turning this around. Score now 4-3. Still, though, possibly on their last lives.